Well, we're back here with Coach Verlin talking about the conference tournament. We brought up it's Kansas City again. What's the advantage? Just seeing them less than a week ago, and now you play them in the tournament.
Well, we just beat them, and that's always a positive. You know, you can talk about all the myths and all that, but you know what? We just beat them on their home court, and you know, there's no reason why we shouldn't be ready to go. It's a team that both games have been very close. They're a very explosive scoring team. And what we got to do is go down there and defend it and rebound it better than we did Saturday night if we expect to win on a neutral court.
That seems to give you a mental edge, the fact that they know that you guys just beat them and your team knows that you just beat Kansas City.
Yeah, and I guess you could look at it both ways. You know, coaches are going to play both sides of that, but you know, I think it's always important to go into the conference tournament on a win, and we've done it on 2 wins. So I think you know, the mental edge has to go to us, but that doesn't make any difference. All that stuff's thrown out. You know, and now it's a 1-game season, and you know, away we go. You know, it's loser out now. Go down there and play every possession the best you possibly can, and see what happens.
What changes, though? Even though it's the same opponents, you've played them all before, but what changes now that it's in the tournament?
Well, nothing really. I mean, what we got to make sure we do is be prepared if they throw a couple wrinkles at us, which they will, and we got to be prepared to do the same. But nothing really changes except for the stakes are higher. You know, now it's lose and go home. And so what we got to make sure we do is we're locked in right from the get-go, and we're locked in for 40 minutes. We've played some really good basketball this past weekend, but not for an entire 40 minutes, and that's what we have to focus in this game versus Missouri, Kansas City, and for the remainder of the tournament.
So when you prepare for Kansas City, it's kind of how you've done it all season. You do the same routine of preparing for them?
Same thing. I mean, that's kind of what you work all year long. You know, we played early in the season out in Portland in a multi-team event, 3 games in 3 days. The reason why we did that was prepare for the WAC tournament. You know, and we just go about business as normal. What you hope at this point is your guys are locked in, and they have been extremely well locked in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that's what you got to hope for. And then you got to rely on some enthusiasm and some leadership to take care of those nerves, and that's what I'm going to impress on our seniors this week.
People always say it's 3 wins. All you have to do is win 3 games. Win 3 games in a row. That's something that I'm sure you're going to talk about a lot. But how difficult really is that?
It's very difficult because you know, obviously we've all played each other. We all know everybody's strengths and weaknesses. You know, what you got to do is you got to get hot. You got to shoot the ball well. You got to have some luck. But probably more important than anything, you got to build a fight. And you got to build a fight every single possession, because you never know when one possession may change the outcome of a game.
At this point as a coach, you don't care who you play. You just care that you can get 3 wins.
Got to beat them all to get there anyway. And so, you know, next up on our docket is Missouri, Kansas City. You know, we'll worry about who we play after that on Thursday night.
As you look at just players in general that have to be good in Vegas, is it the Steven Madisons, the Connor Hills, Suki Wiggs players that have to be consistent?
Everybody has to be good at the conference tournament, no question about it, because you never know who's going to step up. You never know who's going to be in foul trouble. You never know what's going to happen. And I think usually the team that wins the conference tournament has a number of guys play very well night in and night out. But obviously for us, Steven and Connor and Glenn and Mike all got to play well. But what we got to make sure we do as a unit is we got to defend it better. We're not defending the basketball well enough, and we got to go in to the conference tournament with the mindset that we got to shut some people down, and that's going to be our focus this week headed into the tournament.
Yeah, what are the things that you as a coach have said, you know what, when it comes to tournament time, we have to do better at these certain things?
Defense and rebounding, no question about it. You can't go to the conference tournament and allow someone to shoot 50% on you like we did. You know, at Chicago State didn't quite get there, neither Missouri, Kansas City, but they were both close. Well, we got to get that 2-point field goal percentage down to about 40%, 3-point down under 30%. You know, and if you're able to do that and finish possessions by rebounding your basketball, then you got a chance to win the tournament.
It's Las Vegas, it's the bright lights, it's going to be fun, but how do you keep everything strictly business with your players, or is that something you worry about?
Well, you know, we've been on the road a lot this year, and these guys know, and they're locked in. They know right from wrong, and I don't really worry about that stuff. You know, there's different challenges on every trip. This is just a different trip, and what I really try to impress on them is you got to enjoy it, you got to have fun. All right, that's why we're all in college basketball. You also got to understand when it comes time to play, we got to hook up, and that's what we're going to focus on doing.
Well, it should be exciting, and we hope that we can say just 3 more wins for you.
Yep, let's hope so, and hopefully we can get on a good 3-game winning streak here this week.
Well, thanks so much, Coach, for joining us all season long.
Thank you.
Big thanks to Coach Jon Verlin for joining us. And for the Vandal women, it's NCAA tournament or bust. They're the #1 seed, and it's Tom Purvis joined by Coach John Newley next on Inside the Idaho Vandals.